Hey YouTube, DawesenRider here. Welcome to my review for the Ben 10 Omnistirke Omnitrix from the Ben 10 Reboot Series. Thank you to all of those of you that have requested this video and wanted to see it from me. I had a heck of a time trying to find this guy. I heard about it and I kept checking Targets and Walmarts and stuff. I don't think Walmart actually even carries Ben 10 anymore, but I kept checking stores and I could not find this guy, so I finally had to find a reasonable place online. So just be aware of that. It's hard to find in stores. I'm not sure if any of you have. And I believe it's going to be, for the foreseeable future, our last Omnitrix, at least for the Ben 10 regular series. Not sure what's on the horizon, but let's talk about it because it's a mixed bag, but it's actually one of the coolest Omnitrixes, based off of one of the most recent Omnitrixes. I think look-wise is actually pretty solid. You have this quality band here, which is nice. You don't have like a cheap Velcro or a cheap plastic. It's just kind of the traditional quality band. It doesn't create so much of a seamless look here when you're wearing it like some of the other ones, but it's not so bad. But just look-wise in terms of the paint, it looks a little basic, but it's got really nice cartoony colors that make it seem fairly accurate. Unfortunately, the dial is a little bit crooked because when you twist it keeps changing the positions, which is one of my critiques. But look-wise, it's honestly overall pretty good. And the way it works is very similar to the old View Scope was it Omnitrix or Ultimatrix? View Scope Ultimatrix from the Ultimate Alien series, where you pop it up and it's like this little scope here, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. So press this button here, and it pops this up, and then these are actually on the other side. You get these little characters here, and you get the lights up here, and it looks really nice. It actually has really nice, accurate feeling lights. I mean, obviously it's a cartoon, so you have a hard time saying that, but it reminds me a lot of the way the ones looked in the movies, but it looks really good. And you have the alien here, like this is Diamond Head, and then you press it down, and you'll get some effects, and each of them have 2 effects. And they also do say their names when you select them, which I'll get to. But when you turn it, it changes the positioning of the Omnitrix symbol, which is something that bugs me slightly just because of my OCD, and it doesn't do that in the show. But that's just a personal problem, I guess. But let's go ahead and show you. So, twist it over.
Shock Rock.
Shock Rock, it'll say the name, it'll make those little activation noises. Again, there's the lights. Press it down. Sound 1. Sound 2. Next up.
Forearms.
Sound 1. Sound 2.
Cannon bolt.
Sound 2.
Accelerate.
Sound 1. Sound 2. Jet Ray. Sound 1. Sound 2. Sound 1. Sound 2. Slap back. Sound 1. Sound 2.
Humongosaur.
Sound 2.
Diamond Head.
Now back to Diamond Head, you can hear his noise there. His sound 1. And his sound 2. Now this thing is pretty neat, but as for the problems, as I mentioned, it bothers me again that this goes out of sync unless you set it here. So I guess that's fine. If you're not using it, you just want it down here, then you have it looking more normal and more traditional, which is nice. And also a problem you might have picked up on when I was using it is sometimes when you're switching them, the system is very like clicky and it has a hard time registering sometimes. And either it'll double click and you'll hear that double register, or you'll go to the next one and it won't even register it at all. So it makes it feel a little bit cheap, I guess you could say, for lack of a better word, which is kind of unfortunate. It makes it just feel a little bit wonky. But I still think it's pretty neat. I mean, it's so close to being accurate. I think I mentioned this in a previous review, that a lot of these Omnitrixes I feel like hold one piece of being close to being show accurate. And I feel like if we could just put them all together, we could find a really show accurate one. Like, the best thing about this, show accuracy wise, is I think it looks good. I think the lights look really good. It looks like almost an authentic movie Omnitrix. And it's got one of the most satisfying slam down the Omnitrix for hero time things. going for it. You know, it actually looks and feels like the show with that, you know, popping this up and slamming it down. It feels satisfying. It looks right. I wish that it had a little bit more sounds to go along with it, though. You know, I wish that it had, like, actual activation noise when you slam it down. So instead of slamming it down and hearing, you could actually hear some like Omnitrix machinery noises with it and kind of get the best of both worlds, and maybe have the silhouettes here like it does normally. Again, if it just had these little tweaks and like these little changes and we kind of did an amalgam of all the ones we have, it could be perfect. But that being said, this is still pretty neat. It would have been cool to maybe somehow have both, how you could have the silhouettes up here for accuracy and then have these neat little drawings here. Because they actually look pretty nice, you know, and it's kind of nice to have them, and it reminds me of that old View Scope Ultimatrix. And I do like that you have the voice sounds for them as well as some action sounds. Again, I would have liked to have some machinery sounds, but I love that they say the names. It also takes me back to like the Alien Force days, and it gives a little bit of variety. And the old View Scope Ultimatrix didn't have any sound, so it's really close to being accurate. It just needs a little bit more work. But that being said, despite it being kind of basic and imperfect, and again, sometimes it feels a little wonky with the mechanisms, I actually think this is one of the funnest Omnitrix they released for this line. And I think especially for kids, they'll get a kick out of it, and it's one of the most satisfying to use, and it feels the most like the show compared to some other previous releases. So if you can get your hands on one, either for your collection or for your kid who wants one, I can definitely recommend it. It's not perfect, but I think it's one of the most fun ones, and I really enjoy it. But I hope down the road in the future, we see some more Omnitrix releases and some more Ben 10, but I will keep you guys posted if we do, and I will always be covering it. But until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.